Everyone over 60 should eat this for breakfast. Do you know what the biggest mistakes people over 60 make at breakfast? Could French bread and lattes be sabotaging your health without you realizing it? What if I told you that there are 8 simple, affordable, and powerful foods that can transform your vitality and prevent the loss of muscle strength? If you want more energy, stronger muscles, and balanced gut health, stay with me until the end of this video. I will reveal essential foods for those over 60 and explain how they help combat sarcopenia and reach the much-needed protein target. And why have these foods been so neglected in the diet of the elderly? Let's explore this together as I share practical tips for including each of them in your everyday life without complications. Don't leave there. Let's get started. Everyone over 60 should eat this for breakfast. Today I'm going to show you the 8 main foods that can't be missed in breakfast for people over 60. Why breakfast? In my daily experience, I realize that breakfast is one of the foods most neglected by people. So people often don't eat, especially the elderly. They skip meals, or even worse, they eat very poor nutrients. So foods that are not nutritionally rich, that give the impression of a full stomach, often without having any nutritional benefit. I'm going to quickly talk about the typical United Statesian breakfast, which is a café or pingado, which is a glass of coffee with a splash of milk, that is, very little protein, with bread, French bread, white flour bread, bread with margarine. So, thinking about this breakfast, which is the combo of the vast majority of people in the United States, especially the elderly, we can infer that it is very poor nutritionally. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 8 foods that are accessible. So often the issue isn't even financial. The issue is having food, having knowledge, writing it down, putting it on your shopping list. These are foods that are generally available in most places in the United States and even around the world. I have even received a lot of messages, a lot of feedback from all over the world. So I want to thank everyone who is watching me, even from afar and from the United States itself as well, and take advantage and ask you to sign up if you are not already registered. Already activate the notification so that as soon as the video is released, you can be notified and receive the content firsthand. I'm posting 2 videos a week, always with topics related to nutrition, elderly health, and the issue of sarcopenia, avoiding sarcopenia, which is muscle weakness. So let's go. Our breakfast, like the other main meals, we have to reach a protein goal, which is our protein goal. I'll talk once again about how we calculate it. We will take 1.5 times our weight and divide it by the number of meals during the day, which can be 3 to 4. So let's go into practice. If I have 70 kilos, I will multiply 1.5 by 70, which will give 105 grams. These 105 grams of protein are divided into the main meals. So, on average, around 28 grams of protein. If it's 4 meals, or 30-something grams if it's divided into 3 meals. So breakfast should also be used to add protein to our calculation, which in practice we end up not seeing. So I'm going to talk about the first food, which is a food that I always talk about in my videos. It is a protein food, it is a cheap and easy to make food, which is the egg. Unfortunately, the egg was villainized for a long time, many years, as a food that could be harmful to our health, and recent studies have shown the opposite. They showed that it has a lot of benefits, especially if consumed daily. And among the main meals, the most appropriate thing is to fit it in the morning, so as not to replace it with another protein of high biological value as well, such as meat, animal protein, meat, chicken, fish, which can be used in other meals such as lunch or dinner. So, the egg is the main food that cannot be missing from your breakfast every day. So the eggs can be boiled, they can be fried, remembering that with a small amount of butter, preferably butter or olive oil, just a brush. So it can be stirred, it can be mixed with milk, which makes a creamier egg, it can be an egg in the form of an omelette. So in this omelette we can even add chopped cheese, we can add oats, we can add other nutrients too, to enrich the preparation of these eggs even more. The second food is yogurt. That's right, the preferred yogurt is yogurt with kefir. For those who don't know, kefir is a colony of some lactobacilli, which are generally passed down even in some countries, mainly in the Middle East. They are passed down from generation to generation, the same colony. So each family usually has its own kefir colony, which is used to prepare yogurt. So if you don't have kefir, it could be natural yogurt, yogurt with lactobacilli. It could be the yogurt you buy in the supermarket, the first bait we call. Give preference to those that only contain yeast, which are lactobacilli and milk, without preservatives, without any additional additives, and you can prepare your yogurt. Preparing yogurt is very simple, even though I prepare it here at home, so I prepare this yogurt every week. It's very simple. You always use the amount from the previous preparation to make the next one. Quickly speaking, you heat the milk. Before boiling, you wait for it to cool down a little. When it is bearable when touched by your finger, if you have a thermometer, you can set it to around 45-50 degrees. You add the yogurt from the previous time, or if it's your first time, the yogurt from the store. You will put it in a clean glass jar, an airtight container, and leave it in a darker place, in a warmer place, even if you have it in the oven, in the microwave. The next day, the yogurt is ready, so just put it in the fridge and continue preparing. So, this is a very simple and cheap tip. So it's the price of the milk that you use. It can be made with sachet milk, carton milk, powdered milk. I've never tried it, I've never tried to make it. So if anyone has already managed to make it with powdered milk, comment below, which will even be a learning experience for me if it is possible to make it with powdered milk. But it is an extremely healthy food, and extremely important from a nutritional point of view in relation to proteins, which I mentioned again. Regarding the intestinal part, because there are some good bacteria, so it is a probiotic food. So it is extremely important for the functioning of our intestine, and for the absorption of very important amino acids that occur in the intestine through these bacteria. So there are several direct and indirect benefits to consuming yogurt. And for those who still believe that milk is inflammatory, this is also a topic that I receive a lot of questions, both here in the comments and even in direct messages, regarding milk being inflammatory. So in 2023, last year, it was a guideline, a consensus from the United Statesian Association of Nutritionists. This recommendation has already been made, explaining that milk is not inflammatory based on several studies. Then you are already accompanied. This change is happening. Just like the egg, which was villainized for a long time, milk is now, through these studies, also now being acquitted and is already being seen as a hero, even because, including in these studies, it has demonstrated anti-inflammatory effects. So if you do not have lactose intolerance, which a portion of the population may have, especially as people age, or if you do not have an allergy, if you actually have an allergy to milk protein, then we recommend that you do not use milk because of these specific problems. Then it can really do harm to you, remembering that it is dose dependent. So sometimes with 2 glasses of milk, you may have intolerance, you may have diarrhea, bloating, but with 1 glass of milk, you may not have any problems. So you'll have to measure it, and you don't need to be radical to cut out milk. Now, if you don't like milk because of its taste, or if you felt fine when you removed the milk because of any allergies you might have, that's no problem either. You will get the nutrients that milk offers from other foods. You will get calcium in other foods. You will get protein. So you will get these nutrients in another way. So let's go to food number 3. It's oats. Oats have also been villainized to a certain extent by some groups, but this one with less force. Studies have shown that it actually has a lot of benefit. Oats are very rich in iron, rich in magnesium, rich in fiber, and also rich in protein. So, oats, 3 spoons of oats or half a cup of oats in a porridge, it's actually in milk. Making a porridge is actually a very protein food. So you can put it, as I explained before, in an omelette. So you will beat 2-3 eggs, add 3 spoons of oats, make a protein omelette. It will have fiber, so it will have countless benefits for your health. So oats are another food that should not be missing from your breakfast. So the 4th food is fruits. So a portion of fruit for breakfast is extremely important from a micronutrient point of view. What are micronutrients? These are vitamins and minerals, so we will find vitamin C in fruits. Some elements such as magnesium, sodium and zinc can be found in some fruits. So in addition, of course, to fiber, which also plays a very important role in intestinal health. Another food as well, in fact, is a food that is a mixture of 2 others that I mentioned previously, which are vitamins or shakes. So you blend it in a blender or in a mixer. For example, yogurt or milk can be combined with fruit, for example. Or even some protein supplement like whey protein or another protein supplement that you can add along with this vitamin. So it will be easy to digest. It will be a food that will be easy to eat too. So in one glass, we will have an exceptional amount of protein, vitamins and fiber. So that's why we can't forget vitamins as an alternative for our breakfast. Thinking again about the combination of the other ingredients, I will now talk about the sixth food, which is green juice. That's right, you'll blend the green juice in a blender or in a mixer too. You will use this device to make juice. We can use kale, we can use cucumber, we can use apple, we can blend a citrus fruit, we can also add banana. So you will make this green juice with the ingredients you like most, remembering that it is not worth adding sugar. So it's just the sweetness that the fruit will offer. So this meal also offers water, because it is very rich in water, of course. It will also offer several micronutrients, such as mineral salts and vitamins. The seventh food was even the subject of a video I talked about flaxseed, so you should also incorporate at least 1 tablespoon of processed flaxseed into your breakfast. Blend in a blender as if it were flour. So you can add this flour to either the smoothie I mentioned or the green juice. You can add it to yogurt, even to an omelette. So this is a food that you should put on your menu every day. Its main benefits are mainly the large amount of omega-3, which is a fat that we need to acquire from nature. So if you are not in the habit of consuming deep water fish in large quantities, we can try to acquire omega-3 from vegetables, especially flaxseed. So flaxseed is one of the main foods that you should include in your breakfast every day. And the last food that also generates a bit of controversy. It's wholemeal bread, not refined flour, white flour. So whole grain bread has countless benefits for our health, and if you prepare this bread, even better. Because we won't have the ultra-processed bread in this bread that I've already talked about in other videos. That cause so much harm to our health. And making bread is very simple. It's not difficult. You have to have a practice. We have several videos on the internet teaching how to make homemade bread. I do it myself. Here in my house, for me and my family, I purchased a machine, a bread maker, which I recommend. There is no merchandise. I'm not going to recommend any specific brand, but this type of machine, this bread maker, is very practical. So the night before, you put the ingredients together. Add wholemeal flour. You can add sunflower seeds, flaxseed. You can add chia, pumpkin seed. I make whole grain, multigrain bread, which is very tasty and very nutritionally rich. So I recommend you make your own bread. It can make fermentation slower, or you can even do it with common fermentation. With these biological yeasts that we buy at a bakery or at the market, whole grain bread, in addition to fiber, will provide a quantity of carbohydrates with a low glycemic index, so you can use up that energy during the day. So if you still have the habit of doing physical activity in the morning, it is even more important for you to purchase this whole grain bread as a source of carbohydrates. Remembering that these foods can be varied throughout the week. Of course, you will not eat these 8 foods on the same day, in the same meal. So you can vary the menu, including these 8 foods. Oh, doctor, what about coffee? There's no problem at all. You can continue with your coffee. I know it's a very common habit. Many people like it. In United States, we eat our breakfast a lot. So much so that the name breakfast contains the word coffee. Even if you don't drink coffee, the name of this drink is already part of this meal. So you can drink your coffee without any problem. I just recommend during your coffee break that you start cutting out sugar. Sugar, we know. Sugar from sugar cane. This sugar that we use. We know that there are several studies that show that there is no benefit. If you can get into the habit of drinking coffee without sugar, it will be very important. Because most people consume sugar in their lives either through coffee or sweetened drinks. Nobody is in the habit of eating sugar with more in other ingredients, unless it's a cake, a sweet, a dessert. But even so, the large percentage of sugar we acquire is through coffee and sugary drinks. So, if we manage to eliminate coffee and these sugary drinks, we will already be cutting a large percentage of sugar from our lives. Congratulations on getting this far. The fact that you are seeking knowledge and wanting to improve your quality of life is already a big step towards fuller and more active health. Now that you know which foods can turn breakfast into a true ally against aging, how about starting today? Small changes generate big results. Remember, your health is the greatest asset you have. Every choice you make today directly reflects on your vitality and well-being tomorrow. So how about turning breakfast into a moment of self-care? Experiment, test the combinations we suggest, and share your findings in the comments. And never forget, no matter your age, there is always time to start over and overcome limits. After all, health is freedom. Let's go together on this journey of overcoming and self-care. See you in the next video.